So today we're going to make flaky pastry. The version I'm going to show you is a cheats method, but it works extremely well. It's a bit of a faff, but the results are well worth it. The key to making good pastry is making sure the ingredients and the pastry are kept cold. So empty the pastry mix into a bowl. If you're starting from scratch, that's 8 ounces of all-purpose flour and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Add half a stick, 4 tablespoons of chopped or cubed very cold butter. Toss the butter in the pastry mix so it's covered. Then rub the butter and the pastry mix between your fingertips until all the butter is incorporated. Shake the bowl occasionally and this will bring any lumps to the top. After about 5 minutes, the mixture will look like damp sand. Now, add 1 stick, 8 tablespoons of chopped or cubed very cold butter. Toss the butter in the pastry mix. This time, roughly rub in the butter. You're basically squishing some of the lumps. We're not trying to incorporate the butter. There are lots of big lumps remaining. Measure 90 millilitres, about 6 tablespoons of very cold water. I've added ice to mine to make it colder. Tip about half of the water into the pastry, but not the ice cubes, and start to bring the pastry together. Add more water as needed. You probably won't need it all. The pastry is soft, not sticky. You can see that it's ready as the pastry is picking up the crumbs from the bowl. Spread the work surface with some dusting flour. Also coat your rolling pin with flour. As you roll the pastry, the butter will be starting to melt and will stick to the pin. So roll the pastry so it makes a rectangle measuring 12 inches by 6 inches. Then we need to start to make the layers. So fold the bottom third of the pastry to the middle and the top third over the middle to make an envelope. This is the first roll and we need to do 5. Wrap the pastry in plastic wrap. As the pastry's been out for a while and has started to warm up, we need to put it in the fridge for at least 30 minutes. For rolls 2 to 4, we'll only refrigerate for 10 minutes. Our pastry has rested for 30 minutes. Remove it from the plastic wrap and then turn it a 1/4 turn. So instead of looking like an envelope, it looks like a book. Then roll the pastry into a rectangle, measuring 12 by 6 inches. Add more dusting flour as needed. Fold the bottom to the middle and the top over the bottom to form the envelope again. And wrap in plastic wrap and refrigerate for 10 minutes this time. This is the second row. We've just created more layers. Third row. Turn the pastry a 1/4 turn. Roll the pastry to 12 by 6 inches. Fold to look like an envelope. Wrap in plastic wrap and refrigerate for 10 minutes. Fourth row. Turn the pastry a 1/4 turn. Roll to 12 by 6 inches. Fold to look like an envelope. Wrap in plastic wrap and refrigerate for 10 minutes. The last row. Turn the pastry a 1/4 turn. Roll the pastry to 12 by 6 inches and fold to look like an envelope. You can see the difference between the first row and the 5th row. The pastry is much smoother. Wrap your pastry in plastic wrap and refrigerate for at least 30 minutes now, or overnight is fine. The longer it is refrigerated, the firmer the pastry will be. Once refrigerated, your pastry is now ready to be used. For the purposes of this video, we're going to use this pastry to make vanilla slices. So roll the pastry so it measures a little more than 12 by 6 inches. Trim the pastry to get straight lines. I'm using a pizza cutter and a baking sheet. You can use a ruler to get really accurate measurements. Then, cut the pastry into 9 equal pieces, measuring 2 inches by 4 inches. I've eyeballed mine here. Then put the pastry pieces on a baking sheet and bake in an oven at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes until risen and golden. If you've had the pastry out for a bit, pop it back in the fridge for 10 minutes to cool down first. Here are the risen pastry slices. You can see all the layers we have created have caused the pastry to rise. The pastry is very flaky, hence its name, so expect crumbs to fall off as you use it. Set these pieces aside to cool while you make the filling. At last, some finished vanilla slices. I have filled these with jam and heavy whipping cream as an alternative to the crème pâtissier. A warning, they're quite hard to eat. Happy baking!